Welcome to Psychology Radio. I am Tabula Rasa for the day where we're talking about Chapter 1, or the evolution of a science. Hope you join us today because we're going to be talking about vocabulary and all the things you're going to need to get an A on the test. The first one is psychology, or the scientific study of the mind and behavior, where the mind means private inner thoughts, memories, etc., and feelings, and behavior is more observable actions. Psychology's roots came from physiology and philosophy. Some of the greatest philosophers contributed to psychology. For example, Plato believed in nativism, whereas certain kind of knowledge are innate or inborn. We have the information, we're born with it. Aristotle, he didn't agree. He said that knowledge could be acquired through experiences. He also talked about the theory of tabula rasa, which means blank state, where we're born blank and experiences grow us. That's the philosophical empiricism, where it says all knowledge is acquired through experience. René Descartes, he said that the mind and body are fundamentally different, and he thought that the idea of dualism, where the mind and body were very separate. But there was a little bit of a problem with that, because when you'd step on a nail or something, your mind would tell your mouth to say, ouch. He couldn't really explain that, so it was kind of a rough first draft of dualism. Then came along Franz Gall, and he said that the mind and body are linked. He developed phrenology, which said that specific mental abilities and characteristics are localized in the brain. Then came Wilhelm Wundt. He's the father of psychology. He said that consciousness is a person's subjective experience of the world and the mind. He believed in structuralism, or basic elements of the mind, like sensations and feelings, and introspection, which is subjective observation of own experience. Then on the other side of the map, William James, he was an American philosopher. He said that consciousness is like a flowing stream, moving from one area to another constantly, always moving. And he coined functionalism, saying that it was the study of the purpose mental processes serve in enabling people to adapt to their environment. He was inspired a lot by Darwin and the natural selection. Then back over in France, we've got Charcot and Genet. They were looking at hysteria patients. Hysteria actually means wandering uterus, so it only really applied to women. But they said that a temporary loss of cognitive or motor function as a result of an emotionally upsetting event would happen, and they offered hypnosis as a relief for symptoms. Well, Sigmund Freud got a hold of this. He went and visited Charcot and Genet, and he worked with the hysteria patients. He decided that the problems go back to painful childhood experiences that the person couldn't remember, and that their unconsciousness, or part of the mind that separates outside the conscious awareness, influenced conscious thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Somatophore disorders are caused by stress. This emphasizes the importance of the unconscious mental processes in shaping feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. And the goal of therapy was to bring the unconscious into conscious awareness. Next session was humanism. Abraham Maslow, he had the hierarchy of needs, right? He and Carl Rogers talked about the approach to understanding human nature that emphasized the positive potential in human beings. He said we have inherent needs to develop, grow, and attain full potential. The next area was behaviorism. The scientific study of observable behaviors. Now, John Watson said that science requires replicable, objective measurements accessible to all observers. And Pavlov did the stimulus and response, where you'd ring a bell and get the dog to salivate test, which helped some of those theories. B.F. Skinner created the Skinner box, where rats would lean on a pressing lever and got food. He decided and showed scientifically that behavior is reinforced, making it more or less likely for the behavior to continue. That's Skinner box. A lot of us lean on certain pressing levers, and we get what we want over and over again. So I tend to agree with him. Cognitive psychology. Piaget studied children to learn about their nature and development of the human mind. Cognitive psychology is the scientific study of mental processes, including perception, thought, memory, and reasoning. That's cognitive psychology. studying mental processes, perception, thought, memory, and reasoning. Neuroscience is understanding the links between cognitive processes and brain activity. That's neuroscience. Social psychology is the study of causes and consequences of interpersonal behavior. So if you're studying the interpersonal behavior and what causes it, you're probably a social psychologist. That's the end of the vocabulary that we reviewed in our class. I hope you had a great time and that you get an A on the test.